Okay, the next one's number 2, which is what. Okay, now I sort of termed this as being the what because it really, you know, Frank Kearns has a, he's got like a quality equation, and it's source plus y. Okay, so you're going to have the source plus the y. Now this is always going to be an emotional y, and really, put it plainly, and in one word, it's about freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of, you know, deciding what your postcode's going to be, how much money you're going to earn. And, you know, freedom's going to give you that. You know, for some people, money isn't, you know, what they want. They want to sleep at night, not worrying about, you know, the gas bill, the electricity bill being paid. You know, same with any business owner. You know, you're only X amount of days alive as a business owner. You could be turning over $3 million, which, you know, we were. And by the time you take out your costs and you get down to actually the, you know, your profit, that's what you're living on. And sometimes if we hadn't bought things correctly, you know, the profit's just zilcho. So it's about how you manage it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, once we got our mentor on, we didn't go out and just randomly get jobs and just get as much projects as we possibly could and build stuff without watching the cost of how it was going to go. And it lent a lot on, you know, our knowledge of the industry. So if you slow down a bit and you actually get quality rather than quantity, you're going to make more money and you're going to have more time. So once you've got that time on your hands, all of a sudden things become clearer. So if you say you're on Facebook or Twitter and you haven't done step 1, you're out there randomly doing as much as you can, hoping that in your big huge net that you're going to catch, you know, so you're trawling around trying to catch people who would be interested in what you're interested in. But if you work out what the who is and you do that list, you'll find out where they're hanging out and you're going to give them value. So how you decide to market your business is up to you. And you know, Frank said to us these were the 5, and I've mentioned them in the business videos before. And he calls them syndication, JV, which is joint venture, 3, sorry, I have to look at my PPC, 4 is SEO, this is if you're using the internet, and 5 is social media. Right, so what I'm going to do is actually add in some others when you understand what I'm going to say. So with syndication, this is the same as picking up the phone and talking to who you know. Do they like you? And do they trust you? If you've got a list of people like that, you don't even have to go anywhere here. The next best way is to have someone else market you, or market, you know, the product on your behalf, and that's what a JV is all about. So in return for them doing that, what have you done for me, basically? So the syndication is something, a list built over years of, you know, trust. You've built trust up with these sort of people, and you've done business ventures before, say you've bought businesses before. They are your best. They know, like, and trust you the most. Sorry. So in JV, you know, they'll market the product on behalf of you. With PPC, that's going to cost you dollars. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to cost you your pants. SEO is slower, but it's more permanent on the net, and that is, you know, I spent 7K plus 5K in a trip to LA, 12K learning about that. Just that section. Social media, unless it is direct advertising, i.e. Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, Plenty of Fish ads, things like that, it really is a platform that you must build up your reputation with first before you start hammering people with your opportunity. Because all you're going to do is you're just going to drive them nuts, and you need to learn how to do that properly. And that's about marketing you as a person first and what value you give to the world, in order for someone to know you, like you, and trust you. So you'll probably see a lot of people in these two areas here making a lot of mistakes and annoying people. And that can be a pain in the neck. So pick up the phone. If you haven't, if you've done all of that, guys, and you know, I'm presuming you haven't, because and I'm sorry, presuming you have, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So now I'm going to move on to some of the offline stats that have just come out. Now, in your Who, I'll make some room here. So remembering it's source plus Y, I'm going to take you to give you some stats that have just come out this week. Actually, my husband gave them to me, and it makes a lot of sense. So if your market is pre-1960, old cronies, paper advertising is what you use, because they still read the paper. Alright, if it is post 1968, you're on the net to advertise. So in between here, this group of people here, they do both. That'll help you decide on who you're going to market to. So if you're marketing to anybody that was born before 1960, don't even go on the net and try it, because they're just not looking, unless it's on Trade Me, and you can't, you know, Trade Me or eBay or whatever, and you can't actually put business opportunities on there. So post 1968, go to the net by all means, and if anything, I'd actually suggest you learn how to mobile advertise. Right now, that is just, it's massive. It's you know, they're starting with branding and things like that. There's suggestions that you spend in order to brand yourself here, you know, anywhere from 75k to 100k. Start branding now, because mobile is really starting to take over, and you know, the things like iPad and stuff like that. So those are some very interesting stats. So when you've chosen your Who, you've got your target market, you're going to know that if they're over this group here, this age group here, you know, you're better off sticking with the paper advertising, flyers, business cards, the more contact, and then after that, the net. So there's also something else you need to remember, is when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, different things are going to matter to you. So, you know, over this here, like my mum's 70, she doesn't give a toss about where she lives, what she wears. She's clean, she's tidy, and she doesn't want any gifts or presents, she just wants time with us. So time is a major thing here. So that's something money can't buy. So if you're marketing in this area up here, it's money's not the motive. You have to find out what the motive is, and that may be for them to get some money to get their grandchildren to fly and see them. You know, it's not okay. They'll go out without, because they've learned. If you're, you know, our brackets, you know, as I said before, stick to your age group. You know, this to a varying degree between 30 and 50 is a great age group. If you have a look at the ages of the people in the team and stuff, they will very much be within this bracket. There'll be the odd one less, and into this area here, and that'll be usually the kids of business owners, because they've been brought up in that arena. So pick your Who, do the list. Where do they fall in this bracket? Then choose what type of advertising you're going to use with them. If they're in this, you know, area in here, which is where I am, you can understand why, is, you know, now I know why I can go between paper and net, you know, offline and online. So once you've nailed the Who, remember, do the list, then decide where you're going to market to them, and that's going to help a lot, isn't it? And I'll go over some more steps in a minute.